There are many things we hold dear to our hearts that mean a great importance to us. But how many of those things can we just not live without, whether they be physical needs or emotional needs? On this episode of Behind Every Story, we're asking just that. What can't you live without? What's up, everybody? My name's Jason, and this is Behind Every Story. If this is your first time with us, let me explain what's happening. I love stories, from comic books to films, songs to jokes, sitting around a campfire with just a buddy, or sitting in an audience being enveloped by a storyteller or a movie or a play. I love hearing people's stories, and even more so, I love hearing the stories behind those stories. This show is the proverbial director's commentary on the movie of life. Before we begin, a note of warning. The topics we explore on this show may not be suitable for all listeners. This podcast deals with real people and real stories. These stories may contain and deal with graphic language, adult themes, sexual content, and violence. Listener discretion is advised. This is episode number 2 of 50 of the Covid50 here on Behind Every Story. This episode, we're discussing things people cannot live without. When I was designing these questions to ask people, I kept coming up with questions that I myself would struggle to answer. There are so many questions that when you're just sitting around talking to yourself, you think you can answer very easily, but when you're actually put on the spot and asked by someone, it's oftentimes more complicated than that. You hear the question, what can't you live without? And probably you're going to 30 or 40 different things right now in your brain. But what is one of those things that would honestly make you question, could you live without this? And I think it's a tougher question than it leads on. When I think about my own answer and my own story with this, it's difficult. Many things flood through my brain, like my work, or my wife, or my cats. But when it really boils down to it, the thing I think I cannot live without is creativity. Many times I've woken up on days and felt the drive, the need to create. Even if I have other priorities that I have to do, I often look at creativity as the dessert of my day, where I'll go mow the lawn, I'll go fix this, and I'll go clean up, and to reward myself, I get to draw a little, or I get to make a song, or I get to make a video. Creativity, ever since I was a child, has always been this amazing, beautiful butterfly in my life. I may not be good at something to begin with, but I foster it, and I work it, and I keep trying it to create something beautiful, even if it's just beautiful to me. And I've even thought at times, how would I do in jail? And I'm sure everyone thinks that from time to time. What if you were incarcerated, locked in a room, not seeing anyone for 23 hours a day? Being alone, I think I would be okay if I could still create, if I could still write, if I could still draw, if I could still make things. I think I would be okay. And that's one of the biggest things during this quarantine right now that I'm finding solace and peace in is I'm focusing on my creative abilities. I'm doing this podcast. I'm working on my comic strip. I'm trying to do more art. I'm trying to do more things around the house that are creative. And it's making me feel not only more alive, but at peace. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we will hear from our storytellers all about the things that they can't live without.
My name is Brett, and I'm from Chicago, Illinois. I mean, there's a lot of things I can't live without. There's the obvious, but I think... Did you write all these?
I did.
These are just some, like, you don't think about them, but these are a little intense. Well, I don't want to burn. What is something I cannot live without? I cannot live without I wake up in the morning. I gotta do it. I have to. It has. Honestly, it's for in terms of things that I can't live without. I think for me, it's just like humor and sex. I don't know. I think I could probably, if I had laughter and jokes in my life, a little bit of comedy here and there, and some sex, I could stay sane in pretty much any scenario. I think maybe the worst part about going to jail would be lacking those two things, or just even lacking the ability to like jerk off in private for 5 minutes and then move on with my day or whatever. So yeah, I would just say those are the two. And then food and water, air.
My name is Brandon. I am from Elgin, Illinois. Coffee. I cannot live without coffee. I am hopelessly addicted to both the flavor as well as the caffeine.
Why?
The flavor, I don't know. It's one of my more favorite flavors out there. Some people, they like waking up in the morning and that first cigarette or whatever it is, it gets their day going. For me, a hot cup of coffee just sets the tone for not only the day, but throughout the day. I work a lot in front of a computer, and sitting there, reaching over for a nice hot cup of coffee is just a soothing, enjoyable 2-second break from whatever it is I'm in the process of working on. It's comforting.
My name is Em. I am from Chicago. At the moment, probably my phone. But if it was a person, I'd say my husband. Yeah. But a thing, probably my phone, because it connects me to everyone that I care about and everything I need to know or want or need.
What would happen if I took your phone away?
In the middle of a quarantine situation, I would probably lose my freaking mind. I don't know. I'd be really isolated.
Why would you feel more isolated?
Because that is what is keeping me connected to the outside world. I can't just go to my neighbors. I can't go get in the car and go drive to another state and visit a friend or do whatever. We're in a pandemic, so the different times. If you had asked me this a couple months ago, I would probably have had a different answer.
My name is Mark Allen Fishman. I am from Homewood, Illinois. Something I cannot live without: music. Absolutely 100% music, because I am both by day and by night an artist. I seemingly can't put pen to paper or push pixels without having a soundtrack on. And if you take that away from me, I end up singing to myself. So the one thing I cannot likely live without, so long as my wife and children are not listening: music.
Is there a certain kind of music that you gravitate towards?
No. I've listened to so much stuff, and it always depends on the mood I have or the mood I'm in. I will say I'm a little disappointed in, I've noticed the more I age, the more I'll be able to stay in the groove of a particular set of songs for a long period of time. And I used to make fun of my mother for this, because I remember she bought singles, and I would just beg and plead for her to just switch the sides. And even getting her to do that. And I was like, one day, Mom, I'm going to listen to albums. I'm going to listen to everything on those albums. And I did for a very long time, until the age of the shuffle happened. And then you become kind of an ADD riddled music baby. And now it's like, I want my bottle. Please bring me the 10 songs in my Spotify playlist that I have denoted that I need to listen to on a daily basis till I grow sick of them. And then it's just a rotating, like they come in waves, basically.
Well, I'm almost intrigued to ask what's on your playlist now, but I think it's going to change 2 or 3 times before you actually hear this podcast. So
I'm pretty well. I mean, like I said, I think I'm well in the groove right now. But I would say right now, inside the guilty pleasure ad hoc Spotify playlist, we'll start from the most recent ads. So these are the things that will not be going away anytime soon. The Other Side by, I'm going to mispronounce this, just SZA and Justin Timberlake. Slow Burn by Casey Musgraves. Gaslighter by the Dixie Chicks. Coffee Shop by the Cooties. Sweet Child of Mine cover by Scary Pockets. A few Charlie Puth songs, I'm sad to say. One by a band called Youngblood, which apparently is just Oasis, but reborn. Fire Ready Aim by Green Day, because I was born in 81. And Blow Away, 2004 mix by George Harrison.
Hello, my name's Dan from Cambridge, UK.
what is something you cannot live without?
Probably my art screen at the moment because I'm in isolation and can't go anywhere.
How much do you live through your screen?
Yeah, probably all of the waking hours at the minute.
When you say you're on lockdown, how much of a lockdown are you on?
I'm considered high risk, so 12 weeks without anybody coming in or me leaving the flat for anything.
Why are you considered high risk?
Stage 3 kidney failure, so I can apparently catch it quite easily.
So it's a good thing that you're on lockdown.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm kind of used to sitting in anyway, but I was getting used to going out and having people over, but now that's stopped. So just...
How long have you been on lockdown so far?
About a week.
So 11 more?
Yeah.
You got this, man. We got Netflix and everything else. You got this.
Yeah, it's pretty easy.
My name is John. I am from the west suburbs of Chicago. Hold on, buddy. Whew. All right. What's something that I can't live without? God. See, my inclination is to go weird with it. Well, fucking like, if I'm being serious, I can't live without other people. I need my friends and my family. Blah 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 blah. And me as a possible narcissist, I really need an audience to perform in front of. I mean, would I even exist if I didn't have Instagram? But technically I could still drudge through life without other people, but the thing that would make life unlivable without would be, if pizza didn't exist, or I developed a medical condition which made it impossible for me to eat pizza, because pizza is the thing that will always bring me joy and I could eat every single day. This is also why I'm a bit on the heavy side.
My name is Stella, and I'm from Chicago.
What is something that you cannot live without?
Flaming hot Cheetos. I love them. And I wish I had more of them during this, stay-at-home order, but it's okay. Walmart's across the street. I'll get some.
Do they run out?
No, but it's like, do I really want to run out and risk getting sick over flaming hot Cheetos? I'm not sure. Like, I can't live without them. It's one of those things where it's like, what's your comfort food, right?
Yeah.
That's it. I don't know why. Ever since I was a kid, flaming hot Cheetos. I mean, did most people answer like their spouse or their dog? I mean, I could say those, but I thought it would be more interesting to tell you what I'm really thinking.
My name is Michael in the Naperville area. I mean, other than the cell phone and the internet, it's true, man. I'm a millennial. Like, if I'm without my cell phone, I'd probably go to the Apple Store and buy another one, like, within 20 minutes. Like, I wouldn't even feel bad if someone stole my phone, like helped me at gunpoint. I'd be like, all right, cool. Where's the nearest Apple store? That's it. It's a done deal.
So besides those two things,
I guess if it's besides the internet and cell phone, which is I guess 80% of my life, it really has to come down to really my parents. And it's not that I need my parents, is that my parents are such big inspirations to me that I know that as long as I see them ticking, that I can always move forward.
We are Lauren and Ryan, and we are from Chicago, Illinois.
I can't live without Lauren.
My baby.
We met and we were both at kind of crossroads in our life. I think that's the positive way of saying it. We were going through a lot of changes. We were both in our own unique places, which wasn't maybe in line with a lot of the places other people would have been at that stage in their life. So it was a unique time in our lives, but we really came together and have built something beautiful. Her business was thriving, but also struggling at the same time, just for numerous reasons because of the things that had kind of played out with one of her business partners. So, we kind of came together. I was still working full-time jobs. And after a little while, it just seemed to make sense for us to join together and join forces and kind of jump into this business world together. And we've had a lot of success. And she's kind of my heir. I can't really live without her. She grounds me in many ways. We are very opposite, and that's both our strength and our difficulty at times. But she really balances me out, and I hope I do the same for her.
Go ahead, Jason.
No, that was really sweet. I heard the kiss at the end, and it kind of made my heart flutter a little bit.
My name is Marie, and I am from St. Paul, Minnesota. Yeah, these are going to be crazy questions. These are so good already. Something I can't live without. I think I'm just going to go straight for the thing that I really can't live without currently, and that's my medication. I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease about 4 years ago, which led to me having kidney failure. And without that medication, I wouldn't, I don't think I would last very long. So I can't, I can't live without my medication.
What is something that you cannot live without?
Something that I can't live without. Throughout my life, I've lived without darn near everything. So I'm not. There's nothing I can't live without. I will say that going without music would definitely suck.
Why?
It's besides that beautiful poetry that you could get in the directly streamed into your ears, and hearing somebody, a complete stranger, that goes through what you go through, and that ultimate connection that you get. It's also beautiful to have something in the background to keep you from thinking. Just something going on while you're working. And I got to tell you, there's times where I'm working and I am not too proud to admit that I'm a complete geek, and I'm all of a sudden in a movie montage doing something awesome to the soundtrack or something cool. And there's two types of people who do that and fucking liars. So
Hi, my name is Chris. I'm from Elgin, Illinois. Wow, chocolate. I love chocolate. I mean, to know and to seeking out. So, being a fat person, loving chocolate is my thing. So,
what kind of chocolate?
any and all chocolate. So if there's chocolate on it, I usually like it. If it's chocolate dipped in chocolate, wrapped in chocolate, surrounded by chocolate, on chocolate, I'm in. So
What about it draws it to you?
you know what? It's probably just a childhood thing that I always really enjoyed it and equated it with good things. But it actually and scientifically it makes you feel better. So I think it's more my ADD endorphin rush thing that I like it a lot. So.
My name is Rob, and I am from the Midwest in America. I can't live without my wife and daughter. It's one of those things, I know it maybe sounds cliche, but that grounding, that connection is what I need. When they go out of town, they've gone out of town a few times and left me alone while I did stuff around the house and whatever. By the time they get back, I am like the Titanic. I've hit an iceberg. Every bad habit in the sun starts coming up. I'm like, if they didn't come home quickly enough, I haven't shaved and I haven't bathed and I haven't really eaten and I'm a vegetable. And the whole time I'm just like, oh my God, when are they coming home? Does that mean I'm codependent? No. I function very well without. It's that I love my family and really need them to keep me grounded.
I am Chris, and I am from Chicago. I think that's something I definitely cannot live without, is just my ability to express in any way, shape, or form. And I like to choose expression in different ways. I love to dance. That's a big thing that I love to do. I love to have conversations with people. I love to play tennis and show my personality on the tennis courts. I love to be able to express myself in the way that I wear my clothes, and I like to express myself in the vehicles that I choose to ride. So yeah, I would say expression. I cannot live without expression.
My name is Zach. I live in Fort Worth, Texas. That's a good question. Right now, something I can't live without is probably my dog. I have a 1-year-old Frenchie named Opal. I am not a Frenchie dog person per se. It was kind of a friend was saying, hey, I've got, my dog had puppies. Aren't they so cute? And it came down to, okay, I want one. Drove all the way to Illinois from Texas to pick her up. And she's the best dog. She is so cuddly, so sweet, kind of very friendly, wants to love you to death. And I really just don't know what I would do without her.
This is Albert from Savannah, Georgia.
The thing I cannot live without, to be honest with you, is probably my cell phone. Because I have all types of information, connect to the world, connect to my family, things like that. It's kind of like a little mini computer in the palm of your hand. So I use it for a lot of things, paying bills sometimes. Then, of course, taking pictures and taking videos of crazy stuff. So I don't think I could live without my cell phone. I remember the old flip phones, and they sucked, so.
My name is Potato Johnson, and I am from Crystal Lake, Illinois. Something I can't live without. I'll say definitely Lucas is my son. So it's tough. Like I can't, like if I travel for work, it's rough being without my son. So other than that, it's not like without computers, I could be fine. I always say, put me in Wyoming in a cabin on 70 acres and I'll survive. But I'd like to keep my kid with me.
Did you think you would be that way when you were younger?
Yeah, I think so. Well, not so much the isolationist, but Yeah, I've always wanted to have kids, so it's kind of like you raise your best friend. It's a little weird.
My name is Sarah, and I'm from a podunk town in Iowa. Love and acceptance.
Why?
Because I feel that if I don't feel constantly accepted, that I've done something wrong. And so this is more of, I guess, less of a physical thing. Like I could answer this a physical thing, like what thing could I live without? But I honestly don't feel there's one thing I could live without. That comes down to love and acceptance. So that would be family and friends. And that would be all tied together. Without that, I feel like I really don't have anything.
How do you think you feel if you wouldn't have those things?
I'd still be okay because I have my God. I have my God, Jehovah. So I have him and I can rely on him no matter who I have. But for living without, I can't live without my family and friends.
My name is Sean, and I am from Chicago. Oh man, I guess like humor. Like I can't live without humor. Like I'm always trying to find the light in every situation. Like even with what we're going through now, doing my TikToks and whatnot, people are like responding so positively to it. So it's one of those things where trying to take a bad situation and trying to find the light in it or present the humor, that, it's one of those things that's like counting your blessings no matter what's going on. So I got a roof over my head. I have a bed I'm able to sleep in. I have food I'm able to eat every day. So, I'm doing okay. So as long as, and we have internet, and I think internet is something that is so taken for granted. And, like imagine if this was 20 years ago and this whole situation was happening 20 years ago where we didn't have Netflix and means of being able to communicate with each other while we're in quarantine. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's just, I couldn't live without humor because otherwise the world would be going to shit a lot faster than we would anticipate.
Stories make us feel a little more connected to the world. Like, no matter really what's happening, you're not alone. You may feel alone, locked away in your house, or being able to go grocery shopping only, but you're not alone. And stories bring us together, and I think that's needed now more than ever. So be sure to be on the lookout for stories or listen to that one person in the grocery line. Just talk to people. Stories really bring us together. Do you have a story about what you can't live without? I would love to hear it. Email us at behindeverystory@gmail.com. Thank you so much for joining us on Behind Every Story. If you liked what you heard, please consider subscribing on your favorite podcast streaming app or sharing our podcast with your friends and family, or, as my favorite, just random people. We love to connect with others and hear what you have to say. And be sure to like us on Facebook at Behind Every Story Podcast to stay up to date on when new episodes are happening and behind the scenes stuff. And of course, you can always find us on behindeverystory.com. Great storytellers make the world a smaller and more intimate place. Thank you to all the great storytellers out there, big and small. And thank you to all our guests this week: Al, Brett, Bob, Brandon, Chris, Daniel, John, Lauren, Ryan, M, Mark, Marie, Michael, Potato Johnson, Rob, Sarah, Stella, Sean, and Zach. I've been your storyteller, Jason Osterkamp, and it's been a pleasure sitting around the campfire with you. Join us again next time when we'll be discussing everyone's favorite swear word on Behind Every Story.